Now the nested if statement. By using nested if, we can check several conditions. So this is the syntax written in the board. So in nested if, the condition 1 is going to check, and if the condition 1 is become true, then the control goes to the inside the if block of the first if. So inside the if block we found another if statement. So condition 2, then it is going to check. If the condition 2 becomes true, then the statement 1 is going to execute. Okay, so when the statement 1 is going to execute, when this condition 1 and condition 2 both are true, then the statement 1 is execute. Suppose the condition 1 becomes true but condition 2 is become false. This time this control goes to this else block and statement 2 will going to execute. So if the condition 2 becomes false, then the statement goes to this else block. So condition 2 become false mean this statement 2 is going to execute, and if the condition 1 becomes false, then this statement the control is goes to this portion, that means in this else block. So if the condition 1 is true, then it is going to check another condition, and if the condition 2 is true, then the statement 1 will execute, and if the condition 2 is become false, then the statement 2 will going to execute, and if the condition 1 at the very first time it becomes false, then the control goes to the else block and the statement 3 will going to execute. So this is the syntax of the nested if. Basically nested if means the if within the if. You can see in the first line I have already written the if statement, and within this if statement after if the condition 1 becomes true, it enters into the if block statement, and then it find another if condition. So this second if is basically exist within the first if. So if within the if, and for this reason this kind of if is known as the nested if. Now I am going to discuss about the nested if. Suppose in this case I have already taken a number, input a number in a variable n, and I am going to check whether the number inputted by the user is a positive number or negative number, or suppose maybe user enter a 0 value. So let's check by using the nested if statement. Suppose so for this reason I am going to write the if block first. So n not equals to 0. If it is true, then I am writing if n greater than 0. Now I am going to check whether the number is a positive number or negative number, or neither positive or neither nor negative number, that is maybe a 0 number. In this program you can see I have already taken a number inputted by the user in the variable n, and I am going to check the number whether the number inputted in the variable n is positive, negative or 0 number. So in this case you can see first I have written that if n not equals to 0, it means n not a 0 number. So maybe it is a positive or negative. From this point of view we can decide, and within this if block you can see another if block is written, and in this portion you can see I have already written that n greater than 0. It means if the number is positive, because positive number starting after the value 0, so n greater than 0, so statement becomes is a positive number, and if this condition becomes false, then this else block that is going to execute. So if the n greater than 0 becomes false, it means that the number is lesser than 0, but how can we actually determine n is not equals to 0? Because this if condition is going to execute when this this if condition is true. It means n is already not equals to 0. So this else block, when this else block is going to execute, it means that n is not equals to 0, and as well as n is less than 0. So it is a negative number, and for this the first if, it becomes the else block. As the n is not equals to 0, so this condition becomes false. It means that the n is equals to 0. So that's why I'm writing here it is neither positive or negative, it is a 0 number. So I'm just going to run this program, and suppose I am just inputting the value, suppose 15. So you can see it is a positive number, because this portion of the when we I have just entered the value of 15, so 15 is not equals to 0, this condition becomes true, and then after it is going to check this condition again, 15 is greater than 0, it is also true, and for this reason the statement which is written in this if block is executed. Now I am going to run the program again, and I am just writing minus 15. Now you can see the output is, it is a negative number. How? Because minus 15 is not equals to 0, so this condition becomes true, the first if condition becomes true, but minus 15 greater than 0, this second if condition becomes false. So the else block is going to execute, and this statement is printed on the screen. Now I am going to run the program again, and I am just enter the value 0, and you can see the it is neither positive or negative number, that is 0. So the first condition of the if block becomes false, and for this reason this statement is going to execute. So you can see this if actually exists within this if block, and for this reason it is known as the nested if.